it's Jen. Welcome to Creepy Culture. And tonight, our guest is going to be Rachel, and she's from Arizona, and she's going to be sharing some of her paranormal ghost encounters with us. Hi, Rachel. Welcome to Creepy Culture.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank,
I'm sorry.
I was just saying thank you so much for coming on to share your encounters.
Oh, not a problem. I'm happy to do that. I love, telling stories and telling my particular ghost stories because some of them are really, really creepy and some of them are really like, wait, what? So,
Right. All right. Well, go ahead and just start with whatever you want.
okay, so one of the first things, and it's really weird. Like since I was a kid. Well, like I've always been interested in the paranormal in general, but when I was 16 years old, and I think this is when things started kicking up and sort of you know doing like seeing or feeling or whatever. I can never really see them except occasionally, the paranormal side. And it was when I fell off of a roof when I was 16. It was around Christmas time. I slammed my head, like slammed my back against the ladder, hit the ground, slammed my head into the wall. I think in those moments, I think maybe I was close to dying. I don't know, but since then, I've had some really interesting experiences with the paranormal. One of the first ones that I remember that was actually recent was a me and my husband, we were we worked at a haunted house, and what ended up happening was he let me in to what he called to meet the ghost. There were a lot of objects that were purportedly, excuse me, haunted. And what ended up happening was there was a doll, and it was like an old style doll, like a Victorian like style baby doll. And I fell in love with that. I thought it was adorable. And Paul told me that the owner, Bill, had named it Desdemona. When I had laid eyes on the doll, there was this name that popped into my head, and I was like, and it was his. I was like, his name is Samuel. And my husband's like, okay. He told the owner, Bill, an operator as well, and he was like, okay, whatever. Paul had gotten it at a vintage, like a thrift store, so it was vintage. And he had come into that thrift, he went into the thrift store maybe about a month or two afterwards, after I had been like, hey, that his name is Samuel. And they actually said, hey, how is Samuel treating you? And I thought that was so weird. And then Bill allowed only me and Paul to hold Samuel after that. We were the only ones allowed to touch the doll.
Oh, wow.
It was so wild. And I just, it was a spirit. The spirit was attached to the doll. And his name, the fact that his name was actually Samuel was really, really just like, I'm like, it just popped into my head. I don't know where it came from, but I had a very close relationship with the spirit in that doll while I was there, and he was very mischievous, but he never messed with me.
Oh,
I thank God.
right.
But he was very mischievous with other actors in the haunt, as well as uh like guests who were like messing about. He actually stole someone's keys.
Oh, no.
He loves keys, and he stole their keys. Um, but that was just one of them. There was another one that I was, there was one recently that was at my house. And there's a lot of them have happened at my house or have happened at Paul's house. One of the ones that happened at Paul's house that kind of weirded me out until I found out what and who it was. I was taking a nap at his house while he was doing something at the office at the talent agency that we we ran together. And so I was taking a nap and I felt an arm go around my waist. You know, I'm sleeping I'm on my side. I turn and look, there's no one there. I'm like, okay. I mean, it wasn't creepy or weird feeling, you know. They weren't being like touchy-feely. I was just like, okay, whatever. And I thought it was Paul. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I do it again. And it happens again. And I felt the bed shift, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what ends up happening is I feel a hand slip into mine. I'm like, oh, it's probably Paul. You know, he's just napping with me. I look over, there's again nobody there.
Mm.
I was like, and then finally I was like, you know what? I'm like, this is creepy. Can you not?
Right?
So after that, after I had said that, it didn't happen. Like when the hand thing happened, like they like laced their fingers with mine. It didn't happen again. I'm like, can you not do that anymore? Like, and they didn't do it again. It turns out that there was a boy, a teenager, who had unalived himself in Paul's bedroom closet.
Oh.
So he wanted love. So I'm like, I'm not mad at you, but can you not be that creepy? You know?
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'm not mad, but that was weird. Another incident that happened at my house was I was laying on my side, and the next thing that I knew, I kind of woke up and I felt this thing. I felt something, not a thing, but something looming over me, and this really strong tobacco smoke. Like he or it blew it on me, and I'm like, I was like, I'm not gonna move. I'm not gonna look over. Not gonna happen, you know. And I kind of held my breath because I was like, nope, not happening, you know. It was so strong. It was so creepy. And I was like, I don't know who that was, but whoever it was, please don't do that again.
Mm-hmm.
And every once in a while, I get whiffs of smoke randomly, like whiffs of like cigarette smoke, and it's just random, like nothing is going on, and then I'll get like a cigarette smoke scent, and I'm just like, what in the heck is happening here? And it's my grandmother or my dad, depending, just sort of, I guess, checking in. I also have a dog, spirit that visits me every so often. It's my dog Emily. She passed away about 2 years ago, and every once in a while, my current dog Anubis, will stop and stare at something, and then he'll make little noises like he's like communicating with something, or he'll start playing with something randomly, and I'm just like, and there's nothing there. And when she first passed away, I ended up having a dream about her. And now I never have dreams in my house. Most of them are in like other, set in either somewhere else or they're set in other homes that I've been in. And she was in the hallway nearest to my bedroom the day that she had passed. And she was just like, she's all happy, her tail is wagging, everything else. And I'm like, honey, you're gone. Like, what are you doing here? And I was petting her and she was just happy, wagging her tail and just, just being herself. And I woke up and her picture had been slanted. So that was actually kind of made me feel better. After, because she was my baby. I had her since she was a puppy. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other stuff because I've had a lot. I went to Virginia City once, Virginia City, Nevada.
Mhm.
Now this one was super damn creepy because it's 2 in 1.
Mhm.
So I went to Virginia City. As soon as I got out of the car and stepped out of the car and onto the ground, and the best way I can describe this is there's a layer of the past mingling with the present in that place. That's the best way I can describe it.
Mhm.
Um, and it's so odd. So I went to this place, one of the saloons, and they, of course, had a bunch of slot machines, and there's stuff going off and all that. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's a lot of stuff. Like slot machines ringing and everything. And I go up to this lady, and she's the banker, I guess, the one who gives pays out
Right.
what the machines pay,
Mhm.
in cash. And I ask her, "Hey, is there any ghosts here?" And she looks at me and she's like, "Go over there and tell me, what you feel." I was like, "Okay." So it was a table with a chair, and then above it was a staircase that led into a landing that led into like a room, sort of like there was a door there. Like it was like basically a the best how do like I don't know how do you put it. Um just basically stairs and then the landing and then a door. Okay.
Mhm.
And the minute I reached underneath that area near the table, I felt this overwhelming sense of sadness. Like I thought I was gonna cry. And I was like, oh. And then I saw this woman. She had blonde hair and a blue dress. And she was so unbelievably sad. And I was like, well, that's different. So I went back to the lady. I reported what I saw. And she just smiled. And she's like, there was a girl that had um actually hung herself from that balcony
Ooh.
after, like, in the 1800s or so, after the person that she had planned to elope with had left her.
Oh, that's sad.
So I was like, oh, okay, that's good to know. Yeesh. And I was like, all right. And she's like, do me a favor, go, or actually, if you want to have more experiences, because you're obviously really sensitive. I'm like, okay. And she go to it was like an Asian restaurant that had stairs going down into the basement, and there was like a little museum type thing set up. She's like, if you want to go down there, then you can. I'm like, cool. So I go down there. Excuse me, I'm with my folks at the time. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to go over here. And they're like, okay, whatever, you know? So, and I go down and I kid you not, it was the weirdest thing. As I'm going down, I feel like someone is watching me. And I'm going, oh, that's, So I just keep going. I go downstairs and, I'm wandering around and looking at the stuff. And then I hear this like clink, 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 clink. I'm like, what in the name of Mike is going on here? So I look over and there's a bottle literally tapping itself against the exhibit glass in a little case type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I suddenly felt like a whole boatload of presences around me, and like they were crowding me. And I was like, I literally, I know it sounds really goofy, but like I literally said, okay, what do you want? And they essentially, and this sounds crazy again, I know it sounds nuts, but what I heard was that they wanted their story to be told, like who they were, like the miners and stuff like that nobody tells about,
Mm-hmm.
and just all this other stuff. And I was like, okay. And then there was a female presence that was like, would you give her some air? Back up and give her some air. They all sort of either dissipated or backed up. And she was kind of, I don't know who she was, but there's a woman who had died in Virginia City. Her name was Juliet or Julie. She was a prostitute and she had gotten killed. Someone had murdered her.
Oh.
And she had, nobody knew who the murderer was. And it's been unsolved to this day. So I was like, okay, well, that's probably her, but I don't know who the heck the other ones were. And then let's see what else. In the same place, not there's in the same place with the haunted house that me and my husband worked at. I was just like kind of hanging outside, and for some reason, and it was very strange, like I was just talking to somebody. Next thing I know, I felt this heavy like clap on my back, like someone had clapped my shoulder a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
like really heavy. And then all of a sudden this wind just kicked up and then nothing. I was like, oh, and there was no one behind me. There was barely anyone there that day. It was freezing. So I'm like, oh, okay, different. And then another time in the haunted house, me and my husband both, we were by ourselves. There was no one else in the room. And I kid you not, I was behind the wall, so I didn't see it like straight up, but I saw the light. There was a light that went from the back end of the room towards where I was, and I saw the light crack like through the cracks of where I was, because it was like a doorway type area, and it just went through. So it was like an orb of some kind, and I kid you not, it was so bright. It was the strangest thing. And I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, "Paul, did you see that?" He's like, "Yes, I saw it." It was it was pretty great. But yeah, like, I've had a couple of weird experiences, and I think it all comes down to the fact that I may have almost died when I was 16.
Right. And
So yeah,
you
yeah.
when that happened to you when you were 16, were you like knocked out or did you have like a concussion or
I actually I blacked out for a second,
mm,
and that was when I slammed my back against the ladder. I think the only thing that jolted me out of it was me slamming into the ground full force, and then because of the impact, I whipped my head into the wall.
oh okay.
So I think I either was close to death or something in my brain got jolted. I don't really know which.
I guess
So
that happens though. People have head injuries and then they're more sensitive than
yeah.
other people. And I also wanted to ask you
Hmm.
because I can do this. I try not to, but it does it to me anyway. But um, can you feel stuff in anywhere you go? Because I can go in somebody's house and can tell if there's something, spirit like a spirit or something in it, like my hair will stand up or if it's
Usually, yes. If there is an area or a house or something like that, what I like if we pass by an area in the car or something where something has happened, or I feel like there's like this feeling that I get that's between my neck and my shoulder blades. It's not quite like hair standing up, but it's like this sort of like a creepy crawly sort of feeling. Like
yeah, like chills.
all of not chills, but all of my nerves feel like they're on alert.
Hmm.
Like, you know how a cat
Yeah,
is just like kind of goes like, hmm, and it just sort of looks around. It's kind of like that. It's like a tightness in that area. Like there's something that happened there and there's something that's left over.
yeah, I
So,
get that too when I go in places and there's been a couple places I went into where something was so bad in there, it caused me to have like anxiety real bad.
yes.
I don't like that.
Yes. Oh, yeah, no, I actually there was one there's one story, and this is the first time it's ever happened. I went to um a haunt, not our haunt, but a different haunt. And it was me, an ex-friend of ours, and my husband, and we all went into, and it was like a show type thing. I kid you not, I started to feel like I was gonna like absolutely hork, and I call okay, full disclaimer, I'm also a medium and kind of I'm connected to spirit guides and stuff. I called my spirit guide, I'm like, "Help." And he came, and the feeling went away of me wanting to puke. Turned out there was a bride that was attached to the building who was really, really pissed off. And I was like, I thought I was gonna puke. It was I've
Mm-hmm.
never experienced anything like that. It was I've never experienced something so insane that I almost puked. Like,
Yeah,
I literally thought I was gonna just hork everywhere.
I was just curious because I don't even say nothing about that stuff. I just realize, I'm like, Lord, there's something in this house, and most of the time it's
Yeah.
nothing. It don't really bother me. My hair will just stand up, and or I'll get like goosebumps or something. And
Mm.
that one, there's been, let's see, I think it was two times, places I went, I had a full on, like almost panic attack.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
I knew it was from whatever was in that building.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, something's bad in here. We need to go. We need to go right
Yeah.
now. I,
Yep. Yep.
and that's how that goes. I was curious if you do the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. No, like I have so many other stories that where I did have a little bit of a panic attack because of what happened in the building, and I did not know a dang thing about it until after I had the panic attack.
Yeah, I didn't have no idea what went on in that building. I just know something bad was in there because if
Yeah.
there's something bad at where I go, I don't know how to say, I don't know how other way to say it. I just know it's dark and bad and
Yeah.
it'll cause me a panic attack. But if it's something harmless, usually it just, my hair will stand up or, but I can never tell like specifics. I can't really tell. There's only been a couple time I could tell, there's a woman in here, there's a man in here
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something like that. And I can't get specific with it, but I know something's there. So I was just
Yeah.
wondering. All right. Well,
Mhm.
if you want to come back on like for a part two one day when you have
Yeah.
time, that'd be good. I'd love to hear some more of your encounters.
Oh, for sure. I would definitely be happy to. I like I said, being a medium is a very weird thing sometimes, and I'm open about it only because there's no point in me really hiding it because most of the time people are like they either believe or they don't,
Right.
and it's like I've always been kind of a little meh about talking about the fact that I'm a medium, but I'm not doing it to get money out of people or whatever. I
Hmm.
just, I can sense stuff. And if someone has something that they want to say to a living family member, I can help, but I'm not going to like push it,
I think that's cool. So,
Yeah.
but I really do.
Um,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to tell you, I appreciate you coming and sharing all your encounters, and I would love
Oh,
to have you back to share some more. I love hearing them.
oh yeah, for sure. I would definitely love to do that. That would be awesome.
All right. Do you have a website or anything you want to share?
Um, I don't have a
Okay.
website, but I am a social media manager on uh like day job wise ish. So you can actually find me on Facebook, you can find me on Instagram, and you can find me on Blue Sky, you can find me on Threads as well. So
Okay. And I'll before I upload this to my YouTube, I can put a link to your thing on my creepy culture page on Facebook.
oh, awesome. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And I'm going to stop recording, but don't hang up. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.